G'day everybody, how you going? My name is... I don't know what I'm doing with this. G'day everybody, my name is Ben. I'm a photographer and teacher. And recently I got to go to EduTech, which is the massive teaching conference in Sydney. And I got to hang out with these people, the Promethean people who make these sorts of delicious machines, the ActivPanels. And I got to hang out on their stand and essentially talk to teachers about what it is like to run one of these bad boys or girls in their classroom. About a week before class this year, it arrived and I had to figure out how to teach on it. And that was the discussion that I had with a lot of teachers, and that was sort of the biggest question they had for me. They either had these in the classroom or they wanted something like it, but they weren't sure, where to start. I'm not an expert, I'm an enthusiast. I love this thing, and I'm probably just a few steps down the road. So look, if I had to start teaching with one of these in my classroom tomorrow, here's a couple of ways I could ease myself into using this thing. If you've come from a classroom that has very little tech in it, and all you've got is a whiteboard that, it's not an interactive whiteboard, it's just a whiteboard which you get a whiteboard marker and you write on it, and all of a sudden that's been replaced by this. Here we go. This little button follows you everywhere. It's your little home button, and it's got lots of goodies in it, including a back button or a home button if you ever get lost. But it's also got a whiteboard. Okay, so you fire up this whiteboard, you grab a pen, you choose some ink. Let's do red. And then you write things. There's your whiteboard. It works really, really well. I have the world's worst handwriting. That's why I became a photographer. Don't be fooled by that. The screen feels great. My buddy Brenton is an artist, an art teacher. He had a drawer on this and he could, just draw rainbows being chased by unicorns, and it was all just, Now, if you want to amp that up a bit, if you get comfortable with that and you want to get a little bit adventurous, what you can do is, if you're on a screen, say we're on our home screen here, and you press this button, what happens is it'll take a screenshot or a photo of whatever is on your screen, and it will bring up your tools to write on it. So, we use this in photography a lot. We'll bring a photo up, we'll snap it, and then we might talk about, well, hey, where's the light source coming in? And we can talk about this area here, and we could say, well, this is a photo, it's in silhouette. So therefore, the light has to be behind the subject, and we go, oh, well, let's look for clues. Where are the brightest parts in this photo? And you get the idea. Don't forget your save button here, and this thing is really nice because you can save that file to a folder, and then you can distribute all of those pictures to your students. You can give it to students who are away on the day, load them up into your LMS. The other thing to know about this, and if you're looking at all this and you're going, all these buttons and dials and wiggly pink bits and stuff, oh man, I just want to teach. I'm used to having a computer connected to an overhead. Don't panic. This thing has got you covered, because as you can see, there's HDMI ports, there's plugs for days down the side here. And this is exactly the scenario I was in. I was used to teaching Photoshop and photography from a standard teaching computer that projected via overhead onto a screen. So yeah, okay. You can absolutely connect your teaching computer that goes on the back of the computer into anything that will convert your display signal into HDMI. Is a really easy way to plug in and connect and get your screen, your teaching screen, onto the Promethean screen, and straight away you're in a better experience already, because this thing is really bright, it's really pretty, it's a 4K display. It really, really just, when you're beaming photos up straight onto this thing to work with it, it's, if you can add this cord, which will come in the box with this. I forgot what camera I'm on. Grab yourself out the USB cord, and one end will go into the same set of plugs as your computer. So if you plug your computer into channel 4, plug this into channel 4, and then plug this into a USB port on your computer, and what you will get is touch control. You just touch the screen and it takes over from your mouse, which is really, really handy too. Now, if you think I teach off a laptop, don't panic. Ever since this thing arrived, so do I. What else comes in the box is the HDMI to HDMI plug cord, and all you do is you plug that into your computer and you plug that in to any of the HDMI plugs, and you've got your computer up on the screen. Again, you add that touch cable and you've got touch control. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to leave it there. You're using a computer, a laptop or a computer that you're familiar with, and you've plugged it into a brilliant display, and all of a sudden you've got touch control. The whole other side to this device, which we will get into in another video, is the fact that there's a computer that's plugged onto the back of this screen, and it's either going to be a Windows computer or a Google Android device. A whole other layer of teaching power. You can use apps and just teach your heart out on that too. But that is another story for another day. I'm keen to do more of these videos. I'm going to dive into a few more technical, fancy things. Or I'm also keen to talk about whatever you want to know about. So if you're actually a teacher watching this going, why won't he talk about screen recording? Give me a comment. I never get comments on YouTube videos, so it'd be amazing. And I'll do a video on it. No worries, absolutely. Or if you don't want to, wait for a video, send me a message and I'll see what I can do.